thewellnesscouch.com, streaming wellness into your lives. This is Up for a Chat with Cyndi O'Meara, Karen Smith, and Kim Morrison.
Here we are, up for a chat about the hottest topics that are important to you, inspiring you to awaken the change within. Where is she?
You're not Karen Smith.
No.
Where the hell is she?
But I'm Kim Morrison.
And I'm Cyndi O'Meara.
And she's not here.
And we can play.
When the cat's away.
The mice will play.
So welcome, everybody. But guess what? In her place, we have an incredibly special guest with us today. We are all shattered. We have all just finished the Wellness Summit with 600 people in a room in Melbourne over 2 days. It's been an incredibly inspiring, uplifting. I mean, people always say, you know, that the speakers inspire you, but I don't think people appreciate how much the room inspires us as speakers and as people. But we're really proud and excited to announce that we have a very quirky, very cute person with us. And we are proud to welcome Jo Whitton from Quirky Cooking. It's such a treat to have you.
Thank you.
It is a real treat.
And we were trying to explain to Jo how the podcast works, especially without the princess tart. And it really is just a chat. And we were talking before, so this is very off the cuff, in the sense that we thought we were having a great catch up with Jo and what she was up to, and we went, let's record. I think for those of you that follow Jo, and she's got hundreds of thousands of followers, and she's just, I think, why don't we start at the beginning?
I think so. I think it's a great place to start. Yeah. I'd actually like to start. I remember the first day I met Jo, actually. And it's so funny because I remember the photo that you took. And I think I was in Cairns and I was speaking at a Thermomix conference, and you were one of the people that were helping us do food, you know, at this, you know, it was just a talk,
seminar,
wasn't it? It was a seminar.
We cooked while you spoke. Yeah.
And I remember Jo coming up to me and telling me what she was doing, and you know, and I just felt.
What did I say?
That you had changed what you were eating, and that you know you were trying to implement things, and you told me that you liked what I did, which I really appreciated. And I don't know, I remember you so well. That's the funny thing about it. And I remember the photo that you took.
With my eyes half asleep, but I posted it anyway because I was proud to be with Cyndi O'Meara.
Yeah, it was so cool. And now we're like this. Now it's like, oh my God.
I wonder if she'll remember us.
What if she'll remember us?
Really?
So that was
5 years ago.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
And you were just starting to blog, and you were telling me about it. And I went, I love this. I love how mums are just doing it because no one else is teaching them, and they're teaching other mums.
So tell us your story, darling. How did it start? What made you start writing that blog?
Well, pretty much changing my diet had become such a big thing to me. I had learnt so much and was eating so much better. And then people would come to me and say, well, what are you doing? And how are you doing that? And my friends would ask me for recipes and stuff like that. And I think it was partly that I really just wanted to help people who were struggling with changing their diet, having allergies, having all sorts of health issues that they wanted to use food to heal, because that's what I was loving and researching and wanting to know more about myself. And I was making up recipes all over the place, as I do. And I thought I really should write these down. At first I thought I might write a cookbook, and I thought it was just going to be a photocopied cookbook. And I started working on that, and then I thought, no, it would be easier to just have a blog. I'd heard about blogs. I actually really had no idea. And I'm very impulsive, and I just decided one night, it was New Year's Eve, I'm going to start a blog.
Oh, wow. New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
How many years ago?
2008 it was. Wow. So was that? It's only 6 years.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. 5.5. And so I sat down and I messaged my friend who had a small blog, and I said, how do you do this? And she told me the website to go on and how to start it. So I just Googled everything and worked it out as I went. And it was really good because I'd been a stay-at-home mum for years. You know, I'd had a career as a graphic artist, but it seemed like ages ago. And I needed an outlet, I think. And it was a good way for me to be able to have a bit of a voice, do something I really enjoyed. I love art, and that's what I did at uni, and I hadn't been able to paint or draw hardly at all with little kids. So cooking had sort of become my creative outlet. And so I thought, well, I can share that, and photography a little bit too. Not that I'm that great, but...
And did you find that the blog, I don't know about you, but Cyndi and I always talk about that sometimes you get asked the same questions over and over.
Yes, you do.
So the blog almost becomes a place, or a website becomes a place where you can put that one answer.
Exactly, and that's what I found, that people would keep asking, well, what about this and what about that? So I thought I'll just write it on the blog. They can go there and have a look, and I could just tell them to go have a look.
Nice.
So that's how it started.
And did you ever imagine you would be standing on a stage speaking to 600 people for a wellness summit, who many of them came because they knew you were coming? But did you ever realise you would have sold 28,000 books just by this point? Did you ever realise the impact you were going to make on all these hundreds of thousands of lives around the world?
No way. I was just a shy. About 6 months later, I became a Thermomix consultant, and I remember thinking, can I do this? I don't know if I can stand up in front of a group of 6 people.
6 people?
I remember being so nervous. My first demo, I was like, it was at my friend's house, and she took photos and everything. And I was so nervous. I'm like, okay, I'm just new at this, everybody. So, cut me some slack.
It's so true, though. Like, you ask most speakers.
Yeah.
Most speakers, people think it's easy up there, but most of them started out absolutely beside themselves.
Yeah.
And even Cyndi and I over the wellness weekend, and Karen, we were all a complete, I wouldn't say mess, but bag of nerves just before we each went on stage. Like, I was second up, and I
remember,
just lost it.
And you looked nervous at first, but once you got up there, you were fine.
I know, because that's home base for me.
Yeah,
once I'm
just
there,
the thought of going up there, isn't it?
And then someone said, and I don't know if you girls felt the same, but it's like, what are you scared of? I don't know. I think because it's such an important message, all of our messages.
Scared that you're going to mess it up.
Scared you're going to mess it up. Scared that maybe you're not going to be as good as, because we had people telling us they love listening to the podcast, and I didn't want to let them down. I think that's where I came from. And I was delivering a new program that I was nervous about. I hadn't delivered, and it was my fifth birthday for the business. And then anyway, Cyndi comes up to me, and the beautiful thing, she spritzes me. She does everything that I do, and then massage me and calm me right down. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so calm. And then I looked across at all you guys, you're all calm. And then just before she went, I went, come to the toilet now. And she took me to the toilet. She's like, I'm really nervous.
You? I can't imagine.
We're all the same.
We're all the same. And we've heard that, if you don't have nerves, then get out.
Yeah.
Because you've lost your edge. And, to stand up in front of 600 people with your peers that are in the audience.
That's harder.
It is hard. Like you've got professionals in that audience.
Thankfully, Pete Evans wasn't there when we talked. Hey?
Oh,
no.
Well, we would not have talked. We would have just been wrapped legs around, and that's it.
No, that's you too.
You were just jealous, Jo.
So for those of you that didn't know, Pete Evans was the surprise guest. Pet Chief Evans. Yep. Right.
Pet Chief Evans.
I've only had a herbal tea. Chef Pete Evans, and all weekend there was a statue cut out, and all of us girls, Jo included.
No, I wasn't.
You were by the stand. We all had photos with the statue stand, and then friends of his texted Pete and said, look out for these girls. And we did. We attacked him.
We attacked him the minute he arrived. Actually, Kim attacked him the minute he arrived. Kim's really good at this, Jo, I have to tell you. So it's so much fun playing with Kim.
Yeah.
Because nothing seems to faze you as far as going up to people. I'll tell you some things that she does. We're in Melbourne at a football match. I think it was an All Black game that you lost.
I can't remember.
I think Australia won.
Gone from their memory.
No. Anyway, she's forgotten that one. But we walked past this young girl who was smoking. And she went up to the young girl and she said,
who was beautiful.
She was stunning. She said, you are far too beautiful to smoke.
Oh, I love it.
And then walked away. And then the next, she does it all the time, but the one that I remember the best is Mark Boris.
Oh, who wouldn't?
Yeah. So Mark Hanson Boris, he's a businessman that is very, he's good looking. There's no doubt about it. Spunk. And anyway, she sees him all by himself. No, first of all, I see him and I go into her and I grab her and I go, come on, he's out there or something. Sarah did. Sarah saw him, that's right. And she says he's out there, and I grabbed Kim and I said, we're going out. And I'm like looking at him going, he's by himself. What do we do? No, she doesn't say he's by himself. What do we do? She starts running towards him.
With my arms out.
With her arms out.
Mark, it's you.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then I put my phone underneath and I said, do you mind if we do? I know you're probably preparing for the talk, but can we do a selfie? And he's just gone, well, yeah, sure. Well, you are already.
and what we did was we went, selfie. Thanks, Mark. Boom, we're gone.
He did mention us on stage.
He did mention us on stage.
See, you're getting a name for yourself.
There were 500 women. There were 500 women in the room.
Those crazy blonde women.
But to see you up there and to share the stage with Pete Evans, I think for all of us was an absolute gift. To share it with the wellness guys, the beautiful Rich and Stu, all of us. It was such a privilege. But Jo, I think what I got from your talk, which, you know, like me, or I know you've got a degree, but I know...
Yeah, I don't.
No, but you've got a degree in art and you've got that side of you.
Diploma.
Well, either way. You've got it. Well, anyway, you're clever.
I went to uni.
Well, she went to uni?
Yeah, well, so did I.
See, you're clever too.
Yeah, but I quit after 6 months of business school. I couldn't cope.
You don't tell people that.
No, oh, sorry. No,
you went to
delete. But what I love about your message, you're passionate about food. To me, you've obviously had some issues around gut health and well-being. Mm-hmm. You've searched, you've researched, you've started to share, then you really shared. Mm-hmm. So after you launched that blog, I mean, from your talk, I got, you're very easy. Tut. No, you're very easy to understand. You actually make what Cyndi says in a scientific term. I believe you have the ability to turn into, I'm a mum at home, how do I do what Cyndi says? Not that people don't follow Cyndi or do that, but...
Because I did.
Exactly. But that's what I mean. You took what Cyndi said and put it into action. Yeah. And the people that may not want to go down the whole science route and understanding every single thing around what she knows that your message is filtered into her and you become a messenger to a whole lot of people that maybe don't have time to do the research. Yeah. That's the job of Cyndi. That's the job of all of us as leaders. We end up creating information that's easily transferable across the community. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So tell me, darling, just a little bit about your story. So, okay, you started writing the blog, but why? What was your passion to do that? Or what did you want to share?
I think it was just hearing so many stories of people that were unwell and needed help with their diet and said, it's way too hard, I can't do it, it's too overwhelming. Maybe the food that they were trying to make didn't taste good. But mostly it was the overwhelmed thing. People just so overwhelmed. It's too expensive, it's too difficult, it takes too much time, I don't know where to buy stuff, all those things. And that's what I heard over and over, and I still hear that. And my message is, no, you can keep it simple. You don't have to make it complicated, and you can eat healthy. And now and then maybe you want to make something fancy, but you can eat really simply and really healthy, and it won't take heaps of time. I do it all the time, and I'm busy. I have 4 kids. I homeschool. I work from home. I have a business. I have a blog. I have a book. If I can do it, anyone can.
I think that's what makes you beacons of light. I think same with Cyndi. I mean, she had 3 children, has 3 children, but when she was in the middle of writing a book and everything, didn't you, darling? I mean, you were I think the key to this, and I think we're all busy, and I think everyone listening to this is busy. Yeah. It's just how do you choose to use those 24 hours? Exactly. And where are you going to put that time? What's your priority?
And you're the same, Kim. You know, you've got 2 very, very busy teenagers who, you know, ballet 30 hours a week or some extraordinary amount, and football. So I actually think that there are mothers out there that are doing this continuously, and there are so many beacons of light out there. It's a matter of finding that beacon of light, and 200,000 have found you. What is your Facebook page at the moment?
I think it's close to 160,000.
Oh, 160,000.
Yeah, I think it's close to that.
Well, let's just lie and say she's 240,000, so she's more than Pete Evans. Let's just say that.
Let's just say that.
Well, actually, your job listening to this then is to help her get to that point. So go to www.facebook.com/
Quirky Cooking.
Quirky Cooking.
Quirky Cooking.
How cool is that? The thing I love about your Facebook is, I think the other thing about you, Jo, is you're really real. You're approachable. You tell your stories. You're not a perfect Wonder Woman. You're imperfectly perfect. But you actually talk about your imperfections.
Yeah.
I think that in itself is attractive.
Yeah.
Where did you go from there when you started writing the blog?
It just took off slowly, and I never pushed it because it wasn't a money-making thing, and it wasn't a thing that I really needed to do. It was just something I was enjoying, and I really didn't think too much about who was watching and who wasn't. I started sharing menu plans, and that got a bit more notice because I think a lot of people, want help with their planning their meals. And then it sort of slowly grew. Then I think it was more when I got onto Facebook as well that it really grew. It still took I never pushed and went onto other people's pages and said, "Yeah, look at me, come to my blog," or anything like that, where, I've had people come onto my Facebook page and do that, and I always think, why do you do that? Just post really good content and people will come. And so that's just what I've worked on, really just trying to answer people's questions, lovely photos, ideas of things that you can eat that are easy, simple, healthy, where I buy stuff, how I do things, just practical things that people can go, oh, I can do that. Just a little thing that they can take and use, hopefully. And that's why Facebook is so good, because you get that little snippets. I think with Facebook, I started that in 2010, October, and it took probably a couple of years to get up to 3,000 followers, and then in a year and a half, I've gone to 160,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So it just snowballs.
It does. It's that
the viral thing.
That viral. It really is, isn't it?
Yeah,
and Cyndi said that once she hit the 10,000 mark.
Yes, that's what I found.
Yeah.
It was then it just goes
wow.
And it goes really fast.
Yes.
And I remember when I started Facebook and they had like 1,500 people on there. I looked at Food Matters and they had just hit 50,000.
Wow.
They just hit 1 million last week.
Wow.
Yeah, on Facebook. So that was 2 to 4 years ago. Did we start Facebook about 4 years ago, you and I? I'm trying to think.
Yes,
I feel like I started around the same time with you, And I look at them, but they've gone from 50,000 to 1 million in 4 years.
Wow.
So, the reach is huge.
It is huge.
And what I like about you on Facebook and all the social media.
And Instagram.
So
love Instagram.
I love Instagram.
Yeah, it is fun.
I tell you what, I post something on Facebook and I post the exact same thing on Instagram, and I get lovely comments on Instagram and I'll get flack on Facebook. What is that?
Wow. That's interesting.
I wonder if it's because on Facebook, because it does show up in your friends' feeds and they don't necessarily know who you are or what you stand for. They just go, oh, that's a nice chocolate cake. So they click on it. And then they end up on your page and like your page, but they don't really know what you're about. But on Instagram, you actually go to someone's profile, look at what they're about. Do I like them or not? No, I don't, or I do. So I have a lot less followers on Instagram, but they're more my tribe.
Yes.
And there's less conversation on Instagram.
Less conversation, so it's easier.
But I think that's because a picture tells 1,000 words.
It does.
We don't need to be talking
does.
lots. We can just say, love it, or double click it and you've liked it.
That's it.
I love it. I think
Anyway, sorry, I got off the track.
No, that's funny. It's just that you interact. And you interact beautifully, like I watch how you interact. Like I might go on there and write something and I'll get a reply from you and I'll just
that's
go,
the
that's
key.
so cool.
Actually, Nikki Parkinson said that.
Yeah, she did.
She said,
did her
and
blog.
she's a top blogger, Australian Blogger of the Year, and she always taught us, just reply to everybody. Make sure you make contact with as many as you can.
As many as you
obviously.
can, yeah.
But I do try, especially on Instagram, I will definitely try and answer everybody's
And Twitter's
comment.
easy to reply to, I find, on Twitter.
We both went blank.
You don't have
We
to.
did, didn't we? I started doing Twitter today because I saw everybody else doing stuff and I went, oh, that looked like fun. So I went on the Twitter.
Next time that we see your name
And
coming
yours
up on the
was up on
screen
the
all the
screen.
time. I know. Everyone out there will think, oh, she's a Twitter queen.
Yeah, I know.
Or just a twit.
I think it's the tweet. Well, I just thought it was really cool. I went, we can make comment and
During the thing, I think it makes you at conferences, the audience can play and be a part of the stage and interact.
Comment.
Exactly. And I just
I've
thought it was cool.
actually found Twitter really good for making connections and networking and that kind of thing, and just as well as chatting to readers. So they're all different. They're all completely different from each other.
How do you make time for all of that?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Well, I have turned off my Facebook private messages because I was getting up to 700 something unread and I just couldn't cope anymore.
So you can do that?
You can turn off your private messages on Facebook.
And people know that you've turned it off?
I've put a message out a couple of times and said, the last few weeks has been really full on for me and I'm sorry, I just can't answer all these messages. So I had a lady actually privately message me and say, can I help you? She has another allergy blog and I've talked to her a lot. And she said, can I help you? Can I answer your messages for you and help you catch up? And I said, I would love that. So I said, just send them to my chat group where everybody answers.
Yeah.
If it's something private, tell them to email me.
And now you're going to get 700 emails.
No, I haven't actually. It seems to have filtered out heaps because I was already getting a fair few emails. I'm not great with answering all the emails. I try, but I have to put my family first. So sometimes my other things suffer. But at least now I don't have a zillion Facebook messages to come to every morning and wake up and go, oh no, I've got so many. I mean, I love getting them, and it was a real wrench for me not to do it anymore because I did love that chatting. I've actually met a lot of lovely people through private Facebook messages. They've messaged me and said, can you help me with such and such? And we've struck up a friendship. But yeah, you can only do so much, hey?
Yeah. Now, you've won some awards, haven't you? You want to tell us about what awards you've won?
I was nominated for the 2013 Bloggers Award for Voices of 2013. And I got in the top 25 food bloggers. And then I was also nominated this year for 2014. I haven't really blogged for them, though, this year because I've been too busy with my book and everything. Yeah. But I was also nominated for the Oz Mumpreneurs Blog Award, which is going to be voted on soon, so if anyone wants to vote for me.
I told Kimmy that you were.
Are you in it too?
Yeah, no. Yes, I am. No. I'm watching from a distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's very interested in it. And I said, Jo's in it. So watch her. So let's talk about you have 4 children. You homeschool them. Did everybody hear that?
Oh, my God. When she said that, it's about... we bow down to you.
No, I don't, because I'm the most unorganised homeschooler mum ever. My sisters both homeschooled, and I said, I'm going to start homeschooling too. And they said, no, don't do it. You're not organised enough. But, I'd sit down on the floor and do art with the kids when the kitchen was a mess, whereas they wouldn't do that. So
yeah.
So what program are you doing, or is it is it something that they're interested in and you talk about it, or do you actually have a program?
Yeah, we do. We actually we've done all sorts of homeschooling. We started off pretty much doing school at home with a proper curriculum when the kids were little, and I found that very restrictive, so I ended up changing that. And we had a supervisor that went through. She came and did personality character assessments on each of the kids, figured out what kind of learning style best suited them. We went through different curriculums and picked and chose and got different things for different kids, and did a lot of literature-based schooling. So your history and geography and science was all read together as a family discussion. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Very flex. I absolutely loved it. I taught homeschool art classes and cooking classes and all that kind of stuff because we have a really big homeschooling community up where I live. And then as the kids got older, it got more difficult because you need to get them, up to the stage of their grade 12 certificate and everything. So we ended up changing over to the local private school as distance ed students. So we have a curriculum through them, and we have a supervisor, and we have all this reporting we have to do, and it's much more structured because, the kids are 17, 15, 13, 10. You've got to start getting them to where they've got to be for graduation. So
you have one pretty close.
Yes.
Yeah, 17.
Yeah. She's a little bit behind because she went to the end of grade 2 in public school and totally did not at all cope with maths. So we had to put her back to start again and things like that. So it is taking a bit longer for her. But that's the beauty of homeschooling. You can do it at their own pace and focus on the things that they really need help with. The curriculum that we do, they have to have 80% to pass. So it's quite, structured now. which I love the flex better, but I know
That suits your personality
yeah, it
better.
suits my personality.
You little right brain creative type you. How does your husband help?
He helps a little bit, but now that they're older, he finds it difficult because he doesn't understand. Because he hasn't done it all along with them, you know, he's usually at work or whatever, he won't understand the maths or the grammar or the sentence construction or something, and he'll just be like, I don't know. So usually it's me, but my mum and dad are very helpful as well. And then we've got the supervisor is a friend of ours, and if I have to go away and the kids are needing to have some help with school, they'll even go to our friend's place who's the supervisor and do school there.
Oh, well, that's good that you've got that. Yeah.
We've got a very good community that everyone helps each other with their kids, with the schooling and everything. So
it really is. It takes a village to raise a
it
child.
Does. It does. And I feel so blessed that the community we're in, right from the time they were born, we have had complete support. All of us work together to help each other out, and it's been really good.
Sounds like a really good community that you're in.
It is. Very old-fashioned.
Yeah, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, my husband and I took our children out of school and homeschooled them, travelling around Australia. And
that's what I want to do.
Yeah. Look, it was wonderful, you know. And you know what? I did it right after I'd finished Changing Habits, Changing Lives. So this was back in 2000. And I had a publisher by then. So I'd self-published and then I had a publisher. And I would just get books dropped and then I would speak in every town. And that's what took us around Australia.
Yeah. And that's what I've tried to convince my husband, but he's not convinced yet.
Oh, isn't he?
No, he's a stay-at-home.
He likes to stay at home. But, you know, we did a homeschooling curriculum and it was very structured and it was Australian Christian Education, ACE, with PACES. And we met a lot of families on the way. Yeah. And most of the families were doing distance education. Yeah. And I enjoyed the ACE curriculum because it was all, I'm structured. Yeah. So it was all structured. The kids knew what to do. They'd get up at 6 a.m.
And they could get it done before
And they could get it done.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, and they needed me as the supervisor, but they didn't need me at 6 a.m. If I was still in bed or doing something else, they were doing it.
That's right. And our kids have done ACE and they're also doing another one that's similar, where all the learning is built into the books.
Yes, I love it.
And they do have readers and things like that, reading books and literature and stuff to study.
And do they have to do assignments and tests and things like that? Yeah. And that gets sent into the school.
Experiments and you've got to report on it all.
How cool! How do you fit that in?
Yeah.
With them now, I mean, did you ever imagine the blog and your business would just do what it's doing?
No, I didn't. But I love it.
I know.
So I'm trying to balance everything.
Yeah, and what is that word, balance?
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, how about you tell me?
So when do you blog then? Are you blogging at 4:30 in the morning before the kids get up?
To tell the truth, I haven't done any blogging for about 3 months because I've been working on getting my old blog moved over to my new blog.
Oh, yeah, you've been talking about that. Yeah,
and that was a gigantic job and it's still not quite finished, but the new blog is open for business if anyone wants to have a look.
Where do they go?
It's quirkycooking.com.au.
Nice.
So, it's like a WordPress instead of Blogger, which makes it a lot easier to use and search and much more user-friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Because my old one was shocking.
Yeah. Going on your old blog, you know, I knew a recipe. I always knew what recipes I liked.
Yes.
And I'd always say to Tanya, I'd go, I cannot find that macadamia and banana ice cream. Where is it? And then when it went in your cookbook, I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Hello.
You know? Hello. I was taking photos of it in the end because I could never find it, you know. So I was really excited when it got into the cookbook.
It's much easier. I found it much easier just to go on Google and search for anything on my blog myself. That's how I search for things on my blog. Quirky Cooking ice cream or Quirky Cooking.
God.
Because that.
Oh, you could have told me that one.
Sorry. You should have noticed I put it on Facebook. No.
I missed that one. I missed the memo.
Yeah. But hopefully the new one will be heaps easier.
Yeah.
So, and you can type in things like lemon, almond, macadamia, whatever, and it'll come up with recipes with all those ingredients in it.
Oh, how divine.
Like
Are you doing this yourself?
I got help.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were doing it yourself. I'm going,
No.
gee, you're smart.
Actually, even my 13-year-old's been helping. He's been getting on there, yeah. And where was I the other day? I was at a demo and he rang me or sent me a Skype message, said, Mum, I'm just updating this blog post such and such, and this type here won't change from black. What shall I do? And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you.
Oh, that's how adorable.
So he's been working on it for me too.
But that's what I love about that. That is education.
That's education.
That is.
That is going to take him.
Yeah.
He could become quite an interested.
Well, he's actually very, very good with computers. We gave him an old computer that didn't work and fixed it.
Oh my God.
That was at 12 years old. So, yeah, I think he'll go that direction.
Yeah.
Something to do with computers, IT maybe.
So, Jo, you've been flat out.
Yes.
How did you get? Okay, so just lead us back into the story.
Okay.
You have the
She
blog.
always brings us back to
She's
where
good.
we should be.
Yeah, 'cause I
she's
just
really
go off on
good.
rabbit
Yeah,
trails.
and I do too. I get excited about something and I go, oh, let's talk about that.
Yeah, yeah.
But you always bring us back beautifully, Kim.
Now, where was it? No, I'm only sorry. You did your blog. It started taking off. Facebook got to 10,000, and then it really started blowing. What happened next? You were consulting still?
Yes, I was
Homeschooling?
actually a group leader for Thermix, which is pretty much a 24-hour-a-day job.
Yeah.
It's full on. I loved it. I really loved it because you're coaching people and you're leading cooking classes and training, and I learned so much as a group leader. I think that really helped my confidence.
And speaking ability, probably.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
It did, because suddenly I was in front of 30 people or 50. Actually, my very first class was 70 people, and it was Christmas, and we overbooked the class, and it was pouring rain, so they could hardly hear me. Have you ever been in Far North Queensland rain in the wet season?
Yeah. And on a tin roof.
On a tin roof?
Yeah, good.
I was yelling at the top of my voice for everyone to hear. It was, it's chucked in the deep end. But
That's
it was
the art of
good.
true professionalism out there, isn't
But
it?
it was good, and I learnt so much as a group leader, but when I was halfway through doing my book, it just all got too hard, and I said, I've got to go back to consultant. So, now I'm back to that.
Yeah.
And just doing a little bit of the mixed consultant and demos and stuff like that, as well as all the book stuff now.
Yeah.
So you kept going as a consultant. You were learning speaking. You were still blogging, creating recipes,
Homeschooling, making dinner,
looking after
keeping
your
the husband happy.
servicing your husband. Did I say that? And they have needs. And then when you drop those needs off, let's just say they get cranky. So
Yes, well, let's not go there.
let's drop the quirky word and go into cranky. But let's just say children's show. Anyway, okay. So now I want to ask you a really personal question, though.
Okay.
How did you look after you?
One of the main things that I found I need to do is to take time out and just go off by myself and have some time alone, and I do that. I have learnt to be in the moment, if you know what I mean, when you're really, really flat out and feeling overwhelmed. What I often find helps is to write a list of all the things that I need to do and then put it aside and go have some time out, because I know that list is there and I won't forget it, but it's like it frees me and I can go and even just sit outside with a cuppa for 5 minutes with my feet in the grass. And
Cigarette? No.
Chocolate.
Sorry,
You're a dag.
She's a dag, isn't she?
Meanwhile, she's the one that told the girl not to smoke. But anyway, chocolate and a cup of tea.
I
Or a bowl of actually.
Well, what made me think of it is it was like, it sounds like you're having a smoker. You know, sorry, Jo.
Or lunchtime. Whenever at lunchtime, I always would stop, and I always make a main meal for lunch, so it might be just soup or it might be leftovers or whatever. I'd take it outside and sit outside, and as long as it's not raining, which it does rain a fair bit where I live. But anyway, and the kids too, we'd all just, go outside and sit and just have some nice outside quiet time and just relax. Driving, I love driving. So I'll just hop in the car, and even just to go to the shops or go to the next town or...
It is amazing how women find those moments.
Yeah.
I mean, even going to the loo can be a moment.
Can. A bath, that is the best moment.
But
She's a bath girl.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I walked in here into this hotel where
there was
we were
no
living, and I was
Same
so
here. I was
gutted.
devastated.
That to me is my one treat.
Yeah,
me
your
too.
treat.
Me too.
But I think what we all learn as mums is that you can't, it's not like you can go to a day spa. It's not like you can go and lie on the bed for an hour anymore. No. Children teach you to be in the moment,
yes,
but also to grab a moment when you can.
That's exactly right.
So for me, spritzing myself for 3 seconds is sometimes my only moment. I might get in that moment, but you know what? I'm going to be in that moment. I'm going to love every second of it.
Yes.
And I think you've just hit a really good point there that we're all busy. It's what we put our priorities into. But I think what's important is the little injections along the way.
Yes, and you need that. And I've always taken those little times. When I know I'm absolutely exhausted, I'm not the type of person to just keep pushing myself. I'll stop and go lay down for 15 minutes, and I will actually go to sleep and wake up 15 minutes later feeling refreshed. And my mum taught me that.
My husband can do that.
Yeah, my mum taught me that.
You're a cat napper.
I am.
Yeah,
and
that's wicked.
I had a cat nap every day for the first 10 years of having kids until they were older, you know, and then I was like, maybe I should keep working now that they're not actually napping me. But I must admit I still do it quite often. And just say, everybody, be quiet. I'm going to lay down. Don't hassle me. Shut the door. Puppy comes with me. I have a puppy that's like a shadow. And we go and have our sleep. If I need it, I just do it.
My husband can do that.
Yeah.
You know, I have to be honest, I've always felt a bit guilty for doing that.
I
don't know
have.
why. I know. But so I would run a bath.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was doing something.
At least you're washing yourself.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But I always felt like lying on the bed was such a luxury. I don't know where that came from or what that's about. Yeah. But I teach my children. I want them to go and chill out. I like that. I think having some time out is so
when
important.
the kids were little, I had quite a good routine for them, and every day after lunch they had reading time on their bed. If they didn't want to go to sleep, that's okay, but they had to read, and generally they'd fall asleep. But when they were older, they just laid there and read, and I would go have my sleep for an hour.
I think it's really powerful. Yeah. Okay, so from your own perspective, you had some health issues. What were they? And is that what motivated you to do the blog?
Yeah.
Like, where did that start?
Growing up, I always had hay fever, colds, runny nose, headaches, sick tummy from dairy, that kind of stuff all the time, sinus drainage, all the fun stuff. And I just thought that's part of life for me because I've just got bad sinuses. And now and then I'd have a tablet, you know, and I would say, well, here, just have this to try and dry it up. Never worked. So when I started I think by the time I was at uni, I went to a nutritionist and I said, you know, I need to get some help here. And she said, okay, you need to get off dairy. But she pretty much said take lactose tablets in your milk and all that kind of stuff. You know, the lactase.
Okay. Lactase.
And I was also
the enzyme.
I couldn't gain any weight. I know why now. I wasn't actually absorbing nutrients.
Yeah.
But back then I had no idea why I couldn't gain weight, and I ate like anything. People would be amazed at how much I ate, but I was skinny as a rake. And so the nutritionist was trying to help me with that, and her basic answer was sprinkle sausagen on all your food, which was quite gross.
That's really good advice, isn't it?
Yeah. And I said to her, I'm living at a hostel and I'm a bit worried about the food there. I don't think it's real great. She goes, well, what are you eating? And I said, well, you know, it's like a lot of tinned vegetables and stuff. It's not much fresh. She goes, well, no, they're fine. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, so I just didn't feel like things were quite right. But when I had my own home, you know, got married, had kids, and at home, when I was home from holidays or whatever from uni or after I got back from uni, Mum always cooked very wholesome food. But I still couldn't get rid of, you know, the hay fever, the sneezing, the colds. And as I got older, it got worse. By the time I had my third and fourth kids, I was having trouble breastfeeding them. And the lactation consultant said, I think it's a food allergy of some sort. You need to maybe go off dairy or something. Maybe something's happening that's causing them to have problems with the milk. They were screaming when they were feeding and stuff like that. So, you know, I had all these issues, and I wish I would have known about going to a naturopath back then, but I had no idea. You know, my family hadn't ever done that. So finally a friend told me about a naturopath that she went to, and so I thought I'll go and see him. And, you know, he got me to write down all the things I was eating, and I was shocked and horrified to realise how much bread I was eating because it was easy and quick, and, you know, you're starving in the middle of the night feeding a baby, so you go and get a cold Milo and a piece of cheese and some bread. And that's what I was subsisting on in between meals. You know, actually sometimes meals were toast because I was in such a rush with the kids. And so even though I was making my own bread and everything, it was still way too much gluten for my body to handle. The naturopath said, you know, what you're doing. He drew a picture of my gut and showed me how it's all leaking and all the things that gluten's doing to it, and it didn't really sink in for a while. I was trying to figure it out, and he said, you need to get off all of that wheat and dairy and sugar and just heal yourself. So I started working on all that.
Smart man.
Yeah. And he really helped me, and I said, I haven't been able to gain weight. I've got low blood sugar. By 9 o'clock, I was a mess. I was like hot and cold, just really get that hangry feeling. Mm-hmm. The kids came near me when I was like, go away, I'm so hungry. I just was, it was terrible. I had low blood pressure, so if I bent over, I'd go all dizzy. Couldn't gain weight. I ended up getting down to 42 kilos. It was just one thing after another. Every month when I got my period, I'd get a chest infection. It was just like my immune system was so low. So I ended up, doing what he said, went through all the things he said. Within a year, or within 2 weeks, I saw a difference. And I just got better and better. My blood pressure became normal. My blood sugar levels became normal. For the first time in my life, I tested negative for allergies like hay fever and all that kind of thing. My cold stopped, my headaches stopped, I had more energy, I wasn't exhausted all the time, and within a year I gained 5 kilos. And it was all through changing my diet. Yeah. And so I wanted to share that. And when people would say to me, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to eat like that, but it's too hard, I go, no, you can do it. These are the things you substitute. This is how you do it. And that's why I started my blog.
Yeah. Pete Evans said something today. You evolve through your eating, and when you get a philosophy and a value that you have around food, you are not drawn to it. Yeah. You have such a respect for your body and the philosophy of which you're eating by that you can look at a cake and know you don't want it.
Yeah.
It doesn't even call your
that's
name,
right. Yep.
doesn't want you.
That's what I
when
feel.
you get the aha with wheat, it's amazing what happens for people. Do I was telling Cyndi this story this morning that we had a couple of English rugby students staying with us a couple of weekends ago, and I haven't bought wheat in the house since we did the HCG protocols. So for 2 years I haven't bought bread.
We're going on 3.
Nearly 3, is it?
Nearly 3.
So I haven't really bought bread. I have occasionally made spelt bread, but even then I can't tell you the last time I did it. But for some reason, having 2 rugby boys from England there, I thought, maybe I should get a loaf of bread. Yeah. So I went to our local bakery and I got a loaf of ciabatta bread. So it was the best bread I could find at the time, and got it home. Anyway, my kids haven't seen bread in the house for ages. And I thought Jacob would be all over it. Yeah. So I had the bread there and I made them bacon and eggs. I don't eat meat, but I knew that the boys would have bacon and eggs. I did a green smoothie. Actually, sorry, it was a berry smoothie. I made them all the green shots with the probiotics. The boys had those, and they were like, oh, okay. And they just did everything. And then one of the boys said, oh, you're a bit like my stepmom. She's a hippie. She's a real food hippie. Yeah, he goes, oh, you'd really get on with my stepmother. Anyway, I said to the boys, and I had the bread on the bench, I said, does anybody want toast? Now, my 2 instantly went, no thanks. Jacob said no. And I looked and I said, and even me as a mother, I went, are you sure you don't want bread? And he goes, no, I just want the eggs. Can I have an extra piece of bacon? Yeah. That's what he asked for.
That's me.
Yeah. And then Taylor, of course, she didn't want it. And then the boys turned around and they went, oh, we don't need it. I said to Cyndi 2 days later, that loaf was still sitting there and it went mouldy.
Wow.
So I think we don't need bread. I don't even think it's necessary anymore. And I think for those people out there that say it's too hard, yes, there might be some incredible friction at the beginning.
Yes.
Yes, there's going to be growing pains and changing pains, and why not, and how come, and you're mean, and it's unfair, and we're not normal.
My daughter crying and slamming the door, my little girl. I just want bread. Why can't I have bread and cheese?
Like every other normal being.
Yes. And chocolate bars. Yeah. So I get it too.
Yeah. But I think it's fascinating that after a while that abnormal becomes normal to the point where now bread is not normal.
Yes.
That's, if you're prepared to do that's what I think the message out of the whole wellness summit was.
Yeah.
And I really got that when you started talking about home base, Cyndi, that once you find out what your home base is.
And what makes you feel the absolute best.
Yes.
Where you know you're safe and eat the best foods and
but that's driven by your philosophy. And I had a lady come up to me. on the weekend at the VIP dinner last night, and she said to me, she wanted a photo, and she said, "Can't believe I'm with the Up for a Chat girls," and she'd taken a photo with Cyndi, and she'd had one with Karen, and she posted, Karen is her absolute, she just adores Karen. Oh. She's really helped us through a lot. Yeah. She posted a picture on her Facebook page and went, "I cannot believe I'm with the Karen Smith, #SoHappy," or something like that. Oh. And she was telling me, now all her girlfriends were down here in Melbourne as well, and they've all gone out for a girls' bender. But she didn't, they all thought she was a nutcase for coming to the summit instead, but her buzz was coming to the summit. Did she tell you this story?
No, I didn't hear this.
Put, here I am with the amazing, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm with the amazing Karen Smith. Her girlfriends are out drinking and partying, wrote, "Who the F is Karen Smith?" Oh. And she was standing there with me, and she goes, I just feel so hurt.
Oh, poor darling.
And she goes, and then I put a picture up of me sitting on the green couch that was up on the stage. And I said, "I'm actually on the couch." And she put in there #SoHappy or whatever it was. Yeah. And her friends wrote under there, "What the F is the green couch?" Like she was the loser. And she stood there with me and she said to me, "I just feel so upset." And I said, "Well, there's a part of you that will be grieving the fact that you're realising that you're not sharing the same values as these girls. But secondly," I said, "Sweetheart, once you understand your philosophy, and once you get really clear, you're going through change at the moment. You're going from that lifestyle to this lifestyle. You're in transition phase, which means you're kind of like feeling pulled in this direction and that direction. But trust me, when you get really strong on your convictions, your beliefs, and what you feel is right, those comments won't faze you. You'll still love them maybe as your friends, or you may find you change friends altogether. And that's what I think probably what you've gone through, I think your tribe changes, your community changes, and you'll find there's some extraordinary positive people that come with you or that you get to meet. And you may in fact lose friends and family.
Or they're still friends, but you don't feel that same connection sometimes because you know that they
think differently,
look down on what you're doing, or what oh, here we go again, And
she's a bit quirky.
Yeah, she is.
I love that. I love the way. She's a bit quirky.
Hey, that was one of the reasons one of the publishers turned my book down. They said it was too quirky.
Hey, wow,
so
nice.
Wow.
But I think
Julia Roberts, big mistake. Go back in there with your 28,000 sold already.
Yes, you should. Oh, yes.
Well, you don't reckon
you should just do a picture of you like this, like with your hands up, with a whole bunch of your books in hand, or maybe, in hand, and in big writing, big mistake. I think you should.
And also the girl with the gluten-free, dairy-free stuff.
Yeah. Stuff.
No one will like it, hey?
Yeah. I think you should do it. I think you should bring out the other side of you, not the nice side.
I always think of Harry Potter's author in that case. She got turned down by 9 publishers.
Wow.
You don't reckon she stood there with the 10th publisher going, yeah, righto. She was on her bones, just survival mode with them doing that.
That's it, isn't it? Perseverance.
And just going back to the whole friend thing, what was really interesting is at the Wellness Summit there was a question about, how do you deal with negative friends? And, people came up with answers as to what they would do. And we have to realise that people are in our life, and I know this is an old saying, but it's a goodie. People are in our life for a season, a reason, and a lifetime.
Exactly.
And for me, I like to surround myself with people that are like-minded, that still challenge me, that are, I don't know, I don't want to be around people that are not doing the same thing. In actual fact, I actually get really bored, which is, Jo just whispered, so does she.
It's terrible, isn't it? You try so hard to listen to a conversation sometimes, you're like, but let's just talk about food.
Same.
And then I'm sure they must find that very boring, so I have to shut up sometimes.
But what I find is that we're all talking about something, and I always think, oh, this is great. We're not talking about nutrition. We're talking about food. It's something different. And then all of a sudden, the whole conversation gets onto nutrition and food. And then I wake up and I'm ready to go.
That's right. How he's always saying to us, when we go out. It's not business, girls, and we're like, oh, this isn't business.
This is fun.
This is fun.
Passion.
It is. It is our passion.
And how blessed are we to be able to work in our passion? That's what I can't get over. I wake up in the morning sometimes and think, wow, I can actually make a living doing what I love. I'm so excited.
Well,
and that's what everybody wants.
And I get excited. I wake up excited.
Yeah.
I can't go to sleep. I get so excited about the morning.
I know.
It's true.
Funny.
I have to tell you this. I've been overseas for 4 weeks, and I love my home base. I love my home. I love my routine, and I could hardly wait to get home so that I could spend some time going swimming, having a coffee. So my routine in the morning is getting up, getting dressed, going straight to the water, doing my swim with a bunch of friends, having a coffee, and then going home, having breakfast, and then getting to work. And I hadn't done it for a month because I'd been away. Yeah. And so I couldn't sleep because I was so excited about the morning.
That's so cute.
I just couldn't sleep, and I went, go to sleep, otherwise the morning won't be any good.
Do you know what they say at Christmas? The sooner you go to sleep, the sooner the morning comes.
I know, but I was so excited to just do that.
Get back to home base.
Yeah, get back to home base. And you know what you need to tell your husband, you know how he's a real home base and you want to travel around Australia, is that it was the opposite in our family. Okay. Howard wanted to travel and I wanted to be home. I loved my home. I loved what I did. But what we did was we created a home in the bus. And that was our home for 2 years. Yeah. And that became home base and a really beautiful home base and a home base that we have such beautiful memories of. So maybe you can convince him that way.
Okay. I couldn't stand the thought of that with my husband in the sense I'd love to do that, but if we broke down in the middle of the Nullarbor plain,
that's true.
We'd die.
Yeah, so
we die.
We actually have.
It's Jurassic Park out there.
We're totally both impractical, which is not good.
No.
Maybe we could hire someone to come with us.
Maybe we do.
Maybe you two could do that. Yeah.
We'd cook our way around. My mother always said to me,
Hitchhike?
Yeah. No, my mother always said, Kim, you need to know how to change a tyre. And I went, why? I belong to the RACQ. And worst comes to worst, I'll charm.
Okay, well, we can change tyres. Yeah, charm. You would too.
I'll charm. Well,
I could change a tyre.
I'm thinking the breaking down.
Yeah. So what you do is you travel with a family that's got a practical man.
Yes.
Or a practical woman.
There you go. That's a good idea.
And that's the way to do it. And but my husband was very practical. He spent 3 months tearing apart the bottom of the bus, the underneath of the bus, the mechanics of the bus and the motor, putting it back together again, putting new tyres on the bus. We refurbished the bus. And he knew every inch of it.
Wow.
And it never broke down. We never got a flat tyre. We had no problems in 2 years.
That's amazing.
He's a flippin' legend.
He's pretty amazing. But we met this family that did not do that. And they were breaking down all the time. Yeah. But we would stop and help them.
Yeah.
You know, it was part of our thing. And I think Howard really enjoyed it because he is so practical and
do you know
knew
what's so interesting about that? You became the true mother, nurturer, provider of the bus and food in the bus.
Yep.
He was the hunter-gatherer, working out where to go.
Your
roles were incredibly distinct. And you talk about those 2 years as some of the happiest years of your lives. Yeah. The roles were distinct. Children were settled. They had their mum and dad. There were probably rituals you were doing, like singing and
he used to sing, "On the road again. Yeah. I just can't wait to get on." And he'd sing it every time we took off.
It's funny.
Sorry.
So you've been working your butt off. It's been carrying along. You've been doing all right. You've ticked. Your numbers are heading up. How did the book contract come about?
Well, I was trying to get a mainstream publisher so that it would sort of be independent and I could I wanted to do Thermomix recipes because I had so many, that's, what the main thing I love to do. But I couldn't really seem to get a publisher that felt it was worth doing because
too quirky.
Yes. Because I think it was very niche to them, Thermomix and allergy friendly and
gluten-free and wheat-free.
Quirky. And they just felt like it was too much of a risk. And one of them said it was going to be too much money to test all the recipes and, that kind of thing. So I was thinking, I thought I would just pay for the food myself. Maybe I don't. I didn't know how that works. But anyway, so I had no idea. So I was like, okay, bye, and hung up. And it's like, okay, I'll find a different publisher, try it again. There was a bit of interest, but they just didn't feel like it was going. And after 2, I was already feeling a bit shattered.
Yes. Yeah.
After 2 no's. Yeah. And I thought, you know what? I don't even know if this is meant to be. I'm pushing this. I'm pushing. I had a friend that said he would do all the food styling for me as a chef. And he said he would do it for free if the publisher paid for his flights over from the UK. And I was like, but it had to be done by a certain time because he was starting a new business. And I was like, I've got to hurry and get this. No, didn't work out.
We push sometimes.
And I thought, it mustn't be the right time or something. I've just got to learn to let it go. Maybe I'll do an ebook just to fill time, do something, because everyone kept asking. So I went to visit these friends in Townsville who are designers and photographers and all that kind of thing, and they do an online magazine. It's absolutely beautiful called Confetti Mag.
Called what?
Confetti Mag. It's just gorgeous. And so I went to see them and I said, should we try and work out an ebook? And we had a chat. Yes, let's do that. And then I got a phone call like that night from Thermomix saying, we want to publish your book. And I was like, what?
Had you already told them about it?
Yeah, I had told. They knew that I was looking for a publisher and they were trying to support me in it and saying, yeah, we'll support you all the way. We'll promote it for you, all that kind of thing. But it's good to have a mainstream publisher. So they knew that I was pretty much giving up for the moment, and they said, no, come on, we'll just do it, because they knew how much people had been asking for it. So I said, okay, let's do it. And we were going to do the ebook as well, fit it in there somewhere, but we haven't quite got to that yet, but we will, because a lot of people ask about that kind of thing. But it's just been, from that time it was a whirlwind, because I was telling them, come on, we've got to hurry, and they were saying, okay then, let's go. And then I'm suddenly like, oh my goodness, there's so much work to do. I had no idea. Yeah. So then I was up till all hours of the night and up early in the morning and cooking like crazy. I ended up with an assistant in the kitchen, who she helped me with all the recipe testing, and then we had external testers, and then Thermomix had external testers, and then it went to the Thermomix health. So every recipe was tested at least 4 times by 4 different people, plus every variation was tested at least 4 times. And it was a lot of work.
Wow, that's a huge amount of work.
It was huge. So that's sort of how it all came about. Went to Perth for the photo shoot, and that the food was done over there, and then the home photo shoot was done by the Confetti Mag photographer. So she got a little bit of work.
I love those
too.
photos. How long was that from way to go then? The night you got the call?
It was about a year. I can't remember exactly, but it was about a year, which apparently is very fast for a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always looked at around 9 months.
Okay.
9 to 12 months is a year.
Oh, okay.
It's like the birth of another baby.
Yeah. Well, all the food.
It was
a lot of the pain and morning sickness along the way.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
And the grinding of that head. No.
Yeah. And in the middle of all that, we had major health problems with my son.
Yeah.
So,
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So the challenges and the testing, it doesn't stop, does it?
No.
And yet when you look at that book, it looks like it just flowed out of you with ease, doesn't it? Any book does.
I just assumed that you did the blog and then you just pulled everything off the blog and then you threw it in the book and that was it. I know that that's not the case, but that's what
it felt like. That's what I was going to do, and add a few extras. Yeah, it wasn't that easy.
No, you think
like anything.
You'd like to hope that it is.
Yeah.
Let's just we're just about to finish up,
okay.
and I know this is a huge subject, but I think it's worth talking about. So. You're having some health issues with your son. What type of dietary changes have you done for your son to help him?
So he's got something that's quite long term, and so the first thing I thought was, okay, we've been a bit slack here. Obviously his gut is having issues and we need to work on the gut. That's what came to me first. And so I thought, well, straight away I think gut GAPS diet, because it was that serious. I rang my good friend Jude Leroux, darling lady, said, Jude, should I do the GAPS diet? And she's like, tell me about it. So I told her all about it, and she said, wow, okay, yes, that is serious enough to do the GAPS diet. She said, I wouldn't recommend it to everybody, but she said, yeah, you need to do it. And she said, it sounds like you need to do it for your whole family, for all the kids, because they've all got different issues that they're struggling with, and it's not a case of just going gluten-free. It's an actual need to heal the gut.
Yeah.
And, they probably got passed down from me, obviously, their gut ecology. So obviously I need to do it too, and I realise that now much more than 10 years ago, the importance of the gut health. So I said, right, let's start tomorrow. So that's how I am, very impulsive. So we started
tomorrow.
we started the GAPS diet. And then after a few days of the intro diet, I thought, wait a minute, how am I going to do this when I'm away in Melbourne? And then I'm a week in Northern Territory. And then we've got the youth camp for the kids. And, this is going to be difficult. So I talked to some GAPS people that train with the GAPS, and they said what you should really do is start from the end. Make sure it's all grain-free and it's low irritants to the guts, that kind of thing. But you start at that end until you're ready to be at home for a month and really work on it. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So we have added a few things back in, which the kids were pleased about. But we were doing okay because we have already been having broths every day and, for breakfast for us, it's generally broth with veggies and a bit of meat in it and some eggs poached in it anyway. So we're already sort of eating that way. But we did have to remove the bread, which the kids weren't too happy about. But at the moment we're having some paleo bread that I make that's from my cookbook, because you can have that with the full GAPS diet. But I find that within a couple of weeks I already see a difference in my health, and my son seems to be a bit better. We also have, I noticed when I came down here I had a sauce on something that must have had a little bit of gluten in it or something, and I reacted within hours, and I've had a bit of a cold ever since the last couple of days. So I think you do get quite sensitive to the gluten when you do this, and no wonder you have to stay off it for 2 years at least. But I think I've always known that for a long time, I've known that this kind of diet really suits my body, and that I do well with the saturated fat and the meat and the broths and the heaps and heaps of veggies, and not so good with the grains. So.
And dairy?
I'm not good with dairy, never have been.
So, will we expect a GAPS cookbook by any chance?
You never know. You never know.
Because you know what? I think with GAPS, that's, people just look at you with their eyes glaze over but they don't realise that it can save their life.
That's right. Yeah. I actually got a bit excited because I actually really love a challenge with cooking, and I go, okay. And like I said in my talk today, I don't look at what can't I have and get all overwhelmed. I look at, what can I have? And then I work from there.
Yes.
And then I go, I could make this. I could make that. My mum is amazing. She's looking after the kids while I'm away. And my little boy texted me today during the talks, and he said, Mum, Grandma's made me GAPS apple pie. I said, what's that?
GAPS apple pie?
Yes. He said, it's got pumpkin and sunflower seed crust or something, and it's really yummy, and she made custard to go with it with almond milk. And so my mum's awesome. She's cooking up the broths and keeping charge of the kids. So
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go for a GAPS cookbook.
Yeah, I think
let's do that, because I actually believe that it's really required, because the GAPS is a amazing protocol, and Natasha Campbell McBride, 25 years of researching this, and helped her own son that had a mental health issue.
Okay.
So you look at it and you look at how far she's come, but she's so busy in her own practice that I don't know if she's had time to throw a cookbook out.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
The recipes in her book are very basic, and I sort of flipped through them and went, maybe, but I would tweak them. And I would sort of put my own spin on them and change them. And I was already coming up with all these ideas that I could do even on the intro diet.
Yeah.
So,
good.
Yeah.
All right, well.
And the great thing about someone like you.
To a blog on it.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually dying to write about it.
Yeah,
I just haven't had time.
I'm looking forward to it.
I think the great thing about that is there's a lot of people out there that actually want to do that. They get bored or they're not interested. So to have someone like you that is creative, you actually will help a lot of people, because there's a lot of people out there that don't even know where to start.
Yeah, and that's what I've already heard from people who've said, you're thinking about doing the GAPS. What are you doing? Please help me. I'm overwhelmed. Or I'm thinking about doing it, but even the thought of it overwhelms me. And I think, exciting, a challenge.
Yeah. We just have our crock pot going
all the
24 hours a day. And the other day, my husband put in turkey legs. I can't remember. And then he just kind of threw water in, and maybe some onion and garlic. And we got home that night to have it. And Tanya's going, my youngest daughter says, Dad, this is just so boring. It has no taste in it whatsoever. It's not good at all.
That's when you put the Cyndi salt in.
Yeah, then you put the Cyndi salt in. But you know what we ended up doing? We ended up eating it that day, and then I stacked in lamb shanks. So with all the
turkey.
No, the turkey had been taken, it had been eaten, but it was like the stock that was left because there was no veggie left. So I put lamb shanks in and added all my herbs from the garden and put in some root vegetables and did a few things.
So you didn't brown the lamb shank?
No, I did nothing.
I never brown them.
No, I just throw everything in. It takes me minutes.
Why
and I
do they
just
say to
throw
brown
it? Well, you can sometimes.
But on gaps, you're not supposed to have the browning. You cook in the juices.
But if you're going to do lamb shanks, you know, the traditional way, you would brown it. So anyway, I just threw it all in. It was the best.
You can't go wrong with
the absolute best. But I think it was the one stock.
Yes.
And then on top of that stock, you know, instead of adding water, we had stock in it. Oh, yeah. So we've decided we're actually going to start doing that.
A double stock.
Well, when we haven't eaten the stock, we'll just add more to it and then keep going with it.
That's what I do. I do the perpetual broth kind of thing where I've got the broth always simmering. I get up in the morning, scoop off some and make the breakfast with that. And it's still simmering away.
Like a culture.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And then just top up right to the top of the pot again with water, and that just keeps simmering all day. And I'll add some more meat in or some more veggies. You know, when the bones get brittle, then I strain off the stock, start again.
So how many days could that be?
Could be 2 or 3 days, depending if it's chicken or beef. Chicken, maybe 2 days.
Beef, you'll go a little bit longer.
Beef, you can go longer, yeah. Right. And lamb.
And you know kangaroo tails are really...
Oh, no. Did you?
Pork trotters.
Yeah, pork trotters,
They work really well.
And kangaroo tails you can now get. And I'm thinking, I might try my kangaroo tails. Yeah. Well, because it's the tail and they just chop it into pieces and it's for the dog. Yeah. But
why not?
Why not? It's kangaroo tails.
Tell you what, my mum raised me to cook with all that stuff.
Well, you know, our local butcher is now bringing in crocodile, emu, goat, camel, bringing in all the wild meats from Central Australia, and there's been no domestication.
They're very lean.
And people are demanding it. So,
and this is precisely why my Karen's not here.
Oh my God, she would be gagging,
wouldn't she?
That's why she's not here.
Yes.
And I'm with her. So what would you recommend for how do vegetarians do the gap?
They have to do broths.
What sort of broth? Veggie broth.
Well, the only other one that they can do is a seaweed.
Can they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Japanese do a seaweed broth all the time.
Like a miso?
Yeah. No, seaweed. Miso soya. So they will throw down kombu and that's how they make their stocks is with seaweed. So I don't know if it would heal like the bone broth will, but if they're going to be that stubborn about their standing about what they're doing, then that's what they've got to do. They've got to use seaweeds.
Agar is good for the gut, isn't it?
Yeah. Like there's lots of good things that are good for it, but we have damaged our guts so much. Yeah. The healing process is really important. And, you know, broths we were barbecuers first and then we were broth makers. So that was...
Do you know what's blown me away? The whole weekend everyone said the same message.
It's funny, isn't it?
You can
actually
get the whole DVD series of everyone that spoke at the summit for those of you that couldn't be there. It will be available to buy. Everyone had the same message.
I think Pete Evans was hiding in the back listening to me. He copied lots of mine.
He did, actually.
Just kidding, Pete. If you're listening.
But what I'm a little bit perplexed about is one thing Pete said, and you said it as well, is that you actually can eat this stuff on a very good budget. In fact, broths are probably one of the easiest, most cheapest ways to eat high quality, nutrient dense food.
Yes.
What I don't get then, why is this not the food in hospitals?
Exactly. Exactly.
Why is this not the food that we're giving to the elderly and to the sick and the injured?
That's right. That's what our grandmas did for sick people.
Chicken soup for the soul came from the whole basis of chicken soup making you feel so good.
Jewish penicillin.
Gosh, I read that so many years in Nourishing Traditions.
That's right.
I'm just flabbergasted. I keep thinking maybe we are still to be in a room with 600 people, I kind of think, oh my God, the whole world knows. But I still realise that we must be such a small percentage.
Yeah. Well, like Pete said, he has 1% of the one. He doesn't even know if his group that follow him are all Australian. but 1% of the Australian population is on his Facebook page, if it is all Australians. It's not a lot.
No.
13%, though, is the tipping point, and we will get there. We will get there.
And I think if we can keep trailblazing with people like yourselves, people that have a passion and a belief, and I know it's hard to think that when we have a health crisis or things like that, how to see the good in it, but it's thanks to your health crisis that we have Jo Whitton.
Yeah.
It all happens for a reason, and that's what I've said to my son with his health crisis. There's a reason for these hard things we go through. You'll be able to, and he even said to me, Mum, I'll be able to help someone else one day.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, you know what? On that note, I want to thank you for thanking us. I gave your book to my brother. You signed it for him and his beautiful girlfriend. And he has sent me a number of recipes out of the book. His life and health is changing. He's always been a massive bread eater.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's completely off bread yet, but he's starting to listen and starting to understand and making broths. He sent us the picture.
Yeah, he did.
That night he made one of the broths straight away.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and Jacob's always asking me to make chicken soup.
Oh, that's good.
Always. And then the one thing I did, I read the recipe on lamb shanks. For some reason, I just thought Jacob, he was so hangry.
Yes.
I thought he was at school. I went out to the organic butcher, got 6 lamb shanks, just
Good
about died.
The price.
I didn't even care about the price.
Oh, okay. Just
because at the
you
well,
don't
I
like
did actually.
meat.
I was shocked at how dear it
I'm
was.
shocked at how much lamb shanks are.
Yeah.
You
That's
can get
because they're in
cheaper.
vogue.
Yeah, you can get cheaper bits of lamb to use.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, just get cheaper bits.
Yeah, so I got the lamb shank, 6 of them. You're right, I do remember looking at the price, but then I thought he was worth it.
Yeah.
And I thought I could freeze it. There was 6 there. There's 6 meals.
How many did he
3.
No, but I ate the other.
eat? The other 3?
And then I said to this one, so I put it on the crock pot. I put the whole thing on the stove. It cooked all day. I think I've shared this on the podcast. Picked it up from rugby. It was pouring rain. And he goes, Mum, I'm so hungry. What's for dinner? I went lamb shanks. And he goes, are you serious?
Oh.
And I went with mashed potato. And he goes, are you for real?
I love you forever.
He did. They were his exact words. You are the best, Mum. I love you forever. And he could not wait to get home.
That's my son as
Came
well.
in, had a shower, sat down, and even put one on his plate. And then I dished it up like Jamie Oliver, like quite rustic, and then I put the sprinkled thyme over the top.
You're the best.
And I just looked at it. It looked amazing.
And then I entered.
He had it the night before.
Oh, was that the night before and I had it the next
and then
day?
I watched him eating it because I couldn't. But all the meat just was falling off the bones, and he was like a man on fire. He was so happy and loving, and he was actually really beautiful. I think he just really appreciated that. That was hard for me to cook. Yeah. But I don't mind doing it for my family.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't eat meat because I don't agree with it. I just
don't
like it. Mm-hmm. So, but I just want to thank you on behalf of Cyndi, Karen and I for what you are. I feel like I've known you forever.
Yeah.
Unlike the movie star I spoke to today and thought she was a long lost friend.
Only Kim Morrison.
I kept raving to her, going, I know you. Where did we talk together? Where have we done that? And then she said, I'm an actress. And I went, oh. Anyway, off winners and losers. I'm so embarrassed. Anyway, but when I met you, I felt a bit starstruck because I was so excited because Cyndi had talked about you, and I just,
Thank you, Cyndi.
I feel like you're trailblazing it for all us mums, for those of us with health issues, or for those of us looking for better ways. You're homely. You're nourishing.
Homely?
You are.
Don't you like to be known you're homely?
But you are. It's not like you have to go to some fancy restaurant or get fancy ingredients. You're homely. You talk about traditional, cultural, nourishing foods. You still make ice cream with macadamias and caramel sauce.
That is Tanya and my favourite.
But thank you, Jo, for everything you do,
you.
and on behalf of us again and our listeners. What you did
And
at
my
the
daughters,
summit.
they love you.
Aww.
And at the summit, it was such a treat to be in your
It was
presence.
a treat for me. Wow, I was just so honoured to be invited.
Good fun. Good fun.
Yeah.
So if you've enjoyed this podcast and you would like to make some comments to our beautiful Jo Whitton, follow her on Facebook, Quirky Cooking. Follow her on Instagram, which is Jo Whitton.
Yes.
Or Quirky Cooking. It will come up as well.
It will come up.
Remember to post your comments for us. Go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. In fact, let's see, because I'm the only one doing this because Kaz is not here. Let's see if I can get more 5-star ratings instead of her. Go to Facebook, obviously, all the W's, facebook.com/up for a chat. Of course, you can post your comments there, and we're loving your feedback there, by the way. And I am trying to get through all the answers and emails and questions that we're getting on there, so forgive us if we're slow, but please, we do read every single one of them. Please don't forget to go to thewellnesscouch.com/up for a chat. And if you're interested, please make sure you go to the website awakenthechangewithin.com, and you too can join us and a group of like-minded souls to join the Up for a Chat girls at our 3-day retreat in Mooloolaba in November. So don't forget, because the VIP tickets have nearly sold out, and I think we're getting close to full, or I know we've sold quite a few tickets lately. So if you don't want to miss out on that and you're flirting with the idea of coming with a girlfriend or with some friends or a mother and daughter, then please go to the website awakenthechangewithin.com. So in closing, if you have enjoyed this week, then please make sure that you join with us and be part of the ripple effect that's changing the world. We'll see you on the ride.
This has been a production of TheWellnessCouch.com. Check us out on Facebook and join in the conversation on Facebook.com/TheWellnessCouch. Subscribe to each show on iTunes and check us out on Twitter. The Wellness Couch, streaming wellness into your lives. Whilst the Wellness Couch presenter endeavor to provide accurate and helpful information to their listeners, these podcasts cannot take into account individual circumstances and are not intended to be a substitute for health and medical advice from a qualified health professional. You should always seek the advice of a qualified health professional before acting on any of the information provided by any of the Wellness Couch podcasts.